Action Podcast! With your hosts, Chris Carson and DC and Shama.
Welcome to Space Action Podcast, a division of Space Action Heroes, a webcomic you can find at spaceactionheroes.com. I am Chris Carson.
And I own the fucking fuzzy cats that won't shut the hell up. DC and Shama.
Welcome back, DC!
Oh, hi!
Hi! Yeah, we're back recording in Cat Zone, so there will be some kitty mules for all of y'all.
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure half of our listeners are expecting that and angry when it doesn't happen.
So what you're telling me is I should just bring Davey and shake him into the
Yeah,
mic?
just shake him constantly. But yeah, you haven't been here for a while.
I was away.
Where have you been off to?
I was out east, went to the Maritimes for 3 weeks with the Fam Jam. So it was pretty cool what we did. Well, what my brother did, he planned all this really, really well. He rented an RV. It's like a Airbnb kind of thing. You just look up.
Oh, okay. Just find temporary uses?
Yeah, this app just helps you find people.
Did you take a blacklight to it?
Yeah, I think we were only the second. It smelled brand new.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have. No, I thought the exact same
It smelled
thing.
like cum.
I was like, who were the last people that was it a honeymoon? Because I really don't want to be sleeping in no spunk.
Yeah.
But anywho, no. It was like a brand new RV, and so we drove from here, picked up my family in Cornwall,
Here being Toronto.
Cornwall. The first day was Cornwall to Edmundston, New Brunswick.
Ooh.
That was like an 8-9 hour day.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. We went straight through Quebec.
That's like driving to New York.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And at our first campsite, I totally forgot this till just now. Everything, it was like that scene from Seven. Everything was all good. We're talking, and then a freight train went by like 20 feet away. And
my campsite.
Yeah,
Ow.
like literally across the road. And my brother was just like, I swear, the next couple sites I checked, like, Google Maps, they're fine. I swear. But it was good. Everything was so basically I had my little tent.
Okay.
And I would sleep outside of the RV because it was me, my brother, my sister, her family, which is her husband Jared, and my nephew Zico, my parents. So 7 of us.
Good lord.
My parents, slept in the RV, and then 3 of them had a tent. My brother slept in the RV too, and then I had another tent outside. And it was beautiful, dude. I fell in love with the Maritimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Like, it never really occurred to me.
Are you the boy that builds the boat?
The boy that built. I don't know.
Isn't that the eyes that buy that builds the boat and eyes that buy that sails it? Isn't that a whole maritime thing?
It is, Jesus, and that's the other thing. I gotta learn these shanties. I felt like a jackass because
shanties.
everywhere we went, people would start singing them. I'm like, they probably don't all know this. And then my family's fucking singing shanties,
Singing along.
and I'm sitting there just like, heard to Newfoundland, it heard to screech. Like,
Just sound like kind of Irish and you're good.
I literally did.
Yeah.
Just got some spoons and started banging them like I knew what I was doing.
You know, that's the ad for New Brunswick is an Irish woman coming. She's like, "Come to Ireland and Canada." Yeah,
You're right, it totally is.
yeah.
But so we just tooled around. We went from New Brunswick to PEI.
Mm-hmm.
Got to cross the Confederation Bridge, which was nuts.
Okay.
PEI, thanks, Davey. PEI back to Sydney, which is
Okay.
like I think just off of Labrador, and then over to St. John's. We went from Corner Brook all the way across Newfoundland to St. John's, Newfoundland, and then out of Newfoundland all the way back to Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia?
Nova
Did you see some
Scotia, and then
Glooscap?
and then we went to Halifax.
Did you see that giant Glooscap statue?
Glooscap?
Oh God!
For God's sakes, man!
I think there's some
Come on!
some awkward kitty foreplay happening. He's like the native figure for out there, Glooscap. He's on all their products. There's a giant
What is
statue of him. That I'm not entirely sure. I just know that every time someone goes out there and brings me back a T-shirt, it's Glooscap.
How do I spell Glooscap? I want to see if I saw this thing.
Maybe how it sounds, and then it'll autocorrect.
Yeah, GLOOSCAP.
Glooscap.
So, Glooscap, for those in listening, is a legendary figure of the Wabanaki people, native of Vermont and New Hampshire and Atlantic Canada. He looks like a giant naked dude holding a torch.
Yeah, and they have a big statue of him in Prince Edward Island, I believe.
Oh.
Somewhere around there.
I don't think... I saw a lot of statues of fishermen. I shit you not.
Canada's Paul Bunyan?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, a bunch of them, which was kind of patriotic and cool. Yeah, I'm trying... There wasn't, like, anything too crazy, at least that I want to get into on mic. Like, you travel with your family for 3 weeks. There's going to be a few blow-ups, which luckily I missed most of.
You dodged.
The second night, there was one. So I went to bed. and I just heard conversation inside the RV. Everyone decided to sleep inside because it was raining.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it, I got my tent set up. I don't
Yeah,
give a shit.
it's not an open top tent.
So I just sitting there, hotbox my tent like I did every night.
Nice.
I listened to podcasts, and this the next morning, like everyone came out of the RV, like one by one, be like, "Did you hear that shit? Did you hear that shit?"
Like, I heard some podcasts.
My eyes beat red. I'm like, "No, what happened? Yeah, it was great."
That's funny.
But other than that, it was fine. Like nothing too crazy. Guys, for fuck's sakes, we're gonna be a whole podcast of me trying to break up cat fucking.
I'm leaving this all in. I think this is adding layers to things. We haven't recorded here in a really long time, so the cats are just trying to get their 5 minutes of fame.
Well, they can do it better than fucking making an audio sex tape.
They're doing the Prince Kim Basinger thing.
Oh my god, they are. They're doing a total Basinger.
That has to be the backtrack to this whole podcast. Is just
On a loop.
on a loop.
You know how I like it like that.
Oh.
But yeah, no. What I love the most about being out there is that it never occurred to me that coastal country gets the brunt of the ocean over millions of years. So you have entire ice flows from like the ice age
Moving on
piercing
by.
in and going into these rock formations, freezing, expanding, and making these 700-meter fjords that we were taking ferries through.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's just rock walls on either side of you for like
Yeah.
45 minutes and then 45 minutes out. The tablelands where like the Earth's mantle literally pops out of the ground.
Yeah.
It looks like Venus. It's like this angular piece of rock that goes all the way in this giant bowl, and there's like pitcher plants growing everywhere. It looks like you're on an alien planet.
That's weird. That's awesome.
All the soil is like Mars red and shit. Like
Yeah.
it was really, really cool.
Did you know if a lot of productions go there for quote
They
unquote
should.
alien worlds?
They
Yeah.
should. Like if that's an untapped fucking
Yeah.
location. If they don't, because it literally looks like Venus. It's nuts.
Did you see any whales?
We went to we took a whale tour the day after this, and we saw like a couple backs in the blowhole here and there. We mostly
Right.
saw this island covered in a bunch of puffins
I like that you know something good's coming when it's like we saw some blowholes here and there.
here and there. Then we went to Signal Island, Cape Spear in St. John's, Newfoundland, where Morricone sent the first radio signal across the Atlantic.
Oh, okay, cool.
Then Cape Spear is the most eastern point in Canada. It's right on the ocean. It's like, again, this massive U-shaped point. And we're up on this hill where the lighthouses are, probably about like a vertical kilometer diagonally from where this fishing boat was.
Okay.
It's all these seagulls circling around it. This fucking baby, maybe like a medium-sized humpback, just popped
yeah?
out of the, like a fucking poster for the Maritimes, popped out of the water and landed. And there was about a dozen people standing on the cliff with us, and everyone just went, "Oh!"
That's awesome.
It was nuts.
Huh.
And I think we saw two of them there because they would occasionally their backs would breach, and they were following the fishing boat because they
Okay.
know there's a bunch of fish over there.
Right.
That was one
Crafty
of the
bastards.
craziest things I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
It was really, really cool. Another one we saw on the crossing from Digby, Newfoundland, over back to New Brunswick. You go from the far side of the of Newfoundland all the way across and then back. So it takes like 17 hours. It leaves at 5, and we got there I think at 9 the next morning.
Okay.
Yeah. But that evening it was kind of cool. We're looking out the bow of the ship, and they had a band playing, sun setting and everything, and then like there was people all of a sudden were getting up. Like there's a whale way out in the horizon. And then as we're all looking at that, not but like 50 feet off the bow, another back pops up.
Jumps up.
It didn't jump
the
up. You
back
just saw
up?
the back of
Yeah.
it, but like it was still like, holy shit, are we gonna hit that? Like I wanted to run to the
Gonna
to
need
the
a bigger
stern
boat?
Yeah, well, I was expecting to hear like,
Oh, just blood shooting up. No.
but
There's only 6 left in the whole world.
oh, dude, on the first ferry, because you gotta take one to get to St. John's. That one left at like 9 at night and got there at 7 in the morning.
Good lord.
Yeah. It's further than I thought.
Yeah.
It's a lot but also these are massive ferries carrying like transports, and so they average, I think, about, my brother said 8 to 13 knots. 8 is that
How fast is a knot?
I don't know.
That could be 5 miles an hour. I don't know.
They looked like they were humming pretty. I want to say that's around 40, but I'm sure someone right now is screaming at me.
Yeah.
Anywho,
It's a whale.
Yeah.
Angrily typing.
But it was kind of cool. That ferry crossing on the way there, It was late at night. I think it was like a Thursday, and my brother had been driving. Like, he drove the entire time. This massive fridge of an RV. Every time a transport went by, you could feel like the air pressure
just
shifted.
shaking it?
Oh, it was fucking terrifying. So anytime he didn't have to drive the day, I was like, we are getting drunk immediately.
Yeah.
So
No hesitation.
oh man, so that night on the ferry, it was kind of fucking funny. I stayed up late. Everyone went to bed, and we must have been on some choppy waters because this ferry on the inside, it looked almost like a cruise ship. Like, it was nice.
Yeah.
But we got cabins and stuff. This thing was rocking so fucking hard, and I was not shit faced, but just not in my own element.
Right. And how are you with seasickness?
I thought I was good. I thought I was all right.
Everyone always thinks they are.
Until, like, it was kind of fun. At one point, I went up on the rooftop. I bumped a smoke off someone in the smoking deck. I went upstairs to the highest level on the ferry and just laid on my back smoking a cigarette like Jack and Titanic, looking at the stars. It was pretty sweet. And then the seasickness kicked in.
Oh, that's what it kicked.
That's
the
when it
cigarette.
kicked in.
That's not surprising.
I think that's what did it.
Yep.
And honestly, dude, like, I had to go to the caf and get a sandwich just to calm my stomach down a little bit and just find a chair in, like, the public seating area. It's like an airplane chair.
Okay.
I sat in that thing and tilted back because I thought I was just about to puke everywhere.
Keep your eye on the horizon, because that's supposed to center seasickness.
That's what I learned eventually was, like, I guess, was that the first boat we were on the whole trip? I think it was. So I just wasn't ready for it, but, like, or especially because if you're on a smaller boat, it's easier to do just that. Keep your eyes oriented on the horizon.
Yeah.
But when you're in a fucking thing that just feels like you're in a room that's jostling,
shaking.
I was all disorientated, so I didn't notice I was getting sick until, like, the enemy was at the gate, like, it was in my throat, and I was like, I'm about to barf. This is messed up.
Yeah.
But other than that,
other than the horrid seasickness, great trip.
It was fun, dude. I fell in love with. By the end of it, me, my brother, and sister were like, "Oh, we gotta do this again. We gotta get another RV." Dumping out the shit tank, even like I'll do it. Yeah, yeah, dude.
Burning it afterwards.
Because there's a whole process you gotta do. So you're about to educate you on the ship protocol on
chemicals and stuff involved, right?
Yeah, you can put some enzymes in there to break it down so it don't stank as much. But basically, when you get to any RV park, you take this stinky slinky, this tube, and you lock it on the thing, and then you plug the other end in this hole that's there. So you have to dump out all your black water first, right? That's all your shit and your piss. That all comes running out. Then once that's all clear, you have to fucking dump the gray water, which is like all your like used dishwater and stuff like that. So it flushes out all the black water, but still no picnic. It looks fucking gross.
Yeah.
The worst part is like when it flushes out the remnants of the black water so like the first flow of the gray water is like this hint of like, oh god, what was that? Like it looked like something you'd find in an ashtray. What the shit was?
Why was there so much blood?
Yeah,
so much blood.
Oh, it's so awful. I only had to do it once or twice. My brother did it the whole trip, and he's a huge germaphobe, so he just he hated it.
Dish gloves on.
Yeah. Oh, you have to put like every time you gotta put like the fucking latex gloves.
Cool.
But the worst part is, after you empty it, you have to unlock it and kind of cup it because there's going to be some drippage. And then as you clink the slinky shut, the air pressure forces the smell of everything out.
Right back up.
Holy Christ. It's the worst thing I've ever... It smells like dead bodies in a ditch that someone shit on.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's the worst.
So Lady Gaga.
Such a random Lady Gaga take.
Just popped in my head. Felt it's there for a reason.
But yeah, I highly recommend it. Find some good friends, rent an RV.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
It's really fun, dude.
And just
good
a straight
times.
shot drive back?
Kinda. We went from, what was the last campsite? Bay of Fundy. Bay of Fundy.
Bay of Fundy, yeah.
Holy shit, that was news to me. I'd seen pictures of Hopewell Rocks, but I never put two and two together.
Right.
That the tide literally comes and goes in the span of like 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
Like you're walking by this harbor and it looks normal as hell. Then you go by that night and the boats are all sitting on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
Like on risers and shit. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And so basically, for anyone...
Damn moons.
Well, if anyone's interested, like basically the way it works is that the whole bay is like a funnel. Is funnel shaped, so it gets shallower towards this end. So as the tide goes out, it just exposes more rock. See what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
just, it's the only place in the world where it's just like this shallow like this, so as the water level rises, it just looks like it's fucking filling up.
Everything's filling up.
Yeah, but it's because it's on a slant, essentially, the whole thing.
If you didn't know to expect that, I imagine that would be existentially horrifying.
I kept thinking about that, because it's not like it comes rushing at you like it's
Yeah.
like, what's that fucking movie, the Christopher Nolan movie where it's just a wall of water? Interstellar.
Interstellar.
But it's we might get the air show. The CNE's on right now. We
you
might
guys,
get.
Yeah, that'll date this podcast recording. But yeah, if you hear some snowbirds, comment snowbirds.
They usually streak right over here, so we might just get an ear deafening blast of jet noise right now. But
As an aside, the first night I moved to Toronto, the first time I moved to Toronto was on this weekend. And I didn't know that was going to happen.
Me neither.
It scared the fuck out of me.
Me too.
I thought we were being invaded.
It was the scary, because everything shook. Like, this place was empty.
Yeah.
So it was just like a resonating chamber. I was just, are we gonna die?
That's the thing, because Maddie, I moved in with Matt Donahue, our friend Matt Donahue, and he was like, I assure you this isn't normal. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So many new residents of Toronto come this weekend.
It's so horrifying.
horrified.
There should be a notice like,
Yeah.
hey, heads up, if you're moving to Toronto this weekend, this is the annual
It's
orientation.
very Iraqi this
Yeah,
weekend. Yeah.
especially if you have a PTSD or anything.
Yeah.
But anywho, we went from Bay of Fundy, where I had the best seafood.
Clam chowder?
I had clams and oysters, and I'm so not a clams and oysters guy. I got one or two.
I'm not a big seafood guy, but I mean, imagine there it's...
It tasted like the ocean,
Yeah.
and it was
Ooh.
refreshing. No, in a good way.
In a
like,
good way?
Like, again, refreshing like the
Yeah,
ocean.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you tasted it and you felt like you just got a cool ocean breeze. And you're like,
Nice.
oh, I'm like...
Doesn't taste like Wasaga Beach.
It doesn't taste like it was on a plane for like an hour, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I was like, we're eating cat food anywhere if you're not on the coast.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
ugh.
like when I ate my first fresh date in Egypt. I was like, oh, that's what dates taste like?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is what unprocessed shit tastes like.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So from Fundy Bay, we went to Quebec, and that was the end of it.
And Quebec's just old Quebec.
Yeah, but we named our RV, we christened it RV Keitel,
Nice.
aka
That's
Mr.
good.
Mr. White.
Mr. White, because it was obviously a
Exactly.
white RV.
Uh,
Ironically, not a pink one.
Well, it was beige. It was a beige one.
Oh, but
but
close enough.
Breaking Bad, baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you cook any meth along the way?
My brother apparently went to a gas station to load up on gas, and then someone commented on it, and he apparently just went, "Yeah, well, it's the easiest way to cook meth." And just started laughing, and
Laughed walking back.
the guy was not impressed. He was just horrified.
That's good. It would be great if you just laughed the entire way back to the
Rolls the
RV.
window down.
Lights a cigarette.
Speaking of, as a segue, of Breaking Bad, did you see the teaser?
I did. It wasn't much.
El Camino? No, it's Skinny Pete.
Yeah. Just
But-
being like, I ain't gonna let you catch Jesse again.
Yeah, so...
He has aged incredibly.
Who dat? Aaron
Skinny
Paul?
Pete.
Oh, Skinny Pete?
He looks like he's 70 in that
He
trailer.
always looked kind of
He always looked old and scraggly, but now he looks like elderly and
I think-
scraggly.
What I noticed is because in the show he never had facial hair and he had the cap on.
He always
so
had the cap on.
So well, he was clean shaven, so you couldn't tell how old he was. And now when he's grown the hair out,
Yeah.
you're like, holy
Holy
fuck.
shit. So I guess they cast older to give that methed out look.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now he just looks old.
Well, it's funny. You know, he's like a trained pianist.
Really?
Yeah. So that one scene, it's a throwaway joke, and like I can't remember what season they're meeting Mr. White, him and Badger, and Skinny Pete's playing the piano. He's really, really good. He's legit playing. When the show ended, I think they were on Conan or something, and they had him be the guest pianist.
Oh, yeah?
But he was like in a button-up shirt, and he had his hair grown out, and it was like Anderson Cooper White, and that's where I realized, like,
Oh,
oh,
he's just
okay.
really
He's just an
old.
old guy. Okay, I get it now.
I wonder why they didn't get him to cut his hair down or put a toque on him or anything for that.
this one?
For that shot, yeah.
Maybe it's part of the plot, like he's out of the life or something.
Maybe.
You know?
He just aged terribly.
Well, I mean, you spend half your life doing meth. You try fucking looking
Yeah.
great.
Do you know if Walter White's in it?
No word yet. They're
'Cause I
keeping
imagine he'd be in his head. He'd be like the Gotham Knight Joker in Batman's head.
Oh, that could be
I
kinda
would
cool.
assume.
But Vince Gilligan has gone on record whenever he's like, we never saw Walt die.
I hope
And that
they
lesson-
don't have him not die.
Well, it would be kind of interesting if they had it like they did a Catch Me If You Can, like this whole time, like he he was survived, and they've just been using him to get other meth kingpins and
Yeah,
shit. Like,
I guess, but it's such a good ending.
it is.
It's such a. It's
But
like
I
it's
have-
like watching Star Trek Generations after the final episode of Star Trek. You're
Sure.
like, oh fuck you.
But I have faith in them not to shit the bed.
not to fuck it up.
Between that and Better Call Saul, like they know, like this isn't Saul. We're stepping back into the Breaking Bad
Yeah,
universe. We
yeah,
can't
yeah.
dig, and it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's so self-contained, you know.
I guess it's is it officially a Netflix movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be great, but we've all been disappointed before.
Not by Vince Gilligan.
True. Actually, what's he done since Breaking Bad? Aside from being executive producer of Saul.
That's about it. I think that's about it. I don't know if he's done anything else. But again,
What's he directed?
a couple episodes of Breaking Bad
And a couple episodes of The X-Files. Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So I hope so. I'm so pessimistic about everything these days.
Yes, you are.
Which I guess is a good segue into Disney.
we should get into the Disney of it all.
Well, you were away, and the podcast was on hiatus / guest star.
There's been some
huge news.
There's been some Marvel drama.
Marvel drama. Oh, the Marvel drama.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man of it all.
Yeah.
He has left the MCU
Mm-hmm.
because they couldn't play ball, which I think is hilarious because I don't care now. After Endgame really was sort of the endgame for me. I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
Sony loves to fuck up third Spider-Man movies.
Yes, I do.
But it does sort of undermine Tony Stark's sacrifice a little, doesn't it?
What worries me is that when they go ahead with the next Spider-Man movie, they can't mention
They can't
Tony's,
mention anything.
Yeah, at all.
I'm not sure they can use the new MJ. Because the reason she wasn't Mary Jane is because Marvel created a Marvel character to put into the Sony production
so
of Spider-Man.
Zendaya might be out of the job.
She might be.
Huh.
But it is like the whole reason Tony started the path which inevitably led to his, spoiler alert, death, which is, I think everyone's seen this multiple times by now.
What, that Tony Stark's dead?
The Tony Stark's
Oh,
dead.
yeah, I think we're more than fine on that.
But the thing that led to that event was him seeing a picture of him and Peter Parker in the kitchen.
Yep.
The reason his daughter has no father is because of Peter Parker.
Right.
And they cannot mention Peter Parker again in the MCU. He
Right.
is essential. They should have just left him dead. And said, "Man, you deal with it, Sony. Go fuck yourself."
That would have been kind of funny.
Right?
That would have been such a fucking... Like, everyone comes back to that portal except him, and
Except
Tony's
him.
just like, huh?
Yeah. But they can never mention Spidey again, which is just so odd. Or they can't mention Miles Morales or Ben Reilly or anyone Spider related.
I guess they did have Aaron Davis in Homecoming, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
they can't mention him. They can't mention anyone. And because especially with Miles Morales being in Into the Spider-Verse, he is Sony's property.
That's the only thing that gives me hope is that, like, if they're smart, they'll just be like, hey, Phil Miller, Chris Lord, go in and you and with Tom Holland, just fucking do something.
Figure something
because
out.
they know definitely how Spider-Man works as a character.
What do you mean for Sony?
For
'Cause they-
Sony, yeah. I would say that's probably their best bet right now.
Well, I mean, again, objectively, I don't give a fuck. But I think the best turn of events would be if the next Spider-Man movie bombed hard, and then they'd be like chomping at the bit to get back to the negotiating table.
You think it's going to be the battle of the Toms, Hardy versus Holland?
Yeah, I bet you they're scrambling right now, figuring
Yeah.
out how to put him into Venom 2.
Yeah.
Which, again, I said this the other day, where it's like, can you imagine our 20-year-old selves knowing that Gollum was directing Picard's clone with the cinematography by the Coke Wizard, by Tarantino's Coke Wizard and Scorsese's Coke Wizard? It's Richardson. Robert Richardson's doing the
funny.
cinematography. It's like, just that would have blown our minds.
They've all
20
got jobs.
Yeah.
Those careers have legs. What do you want?
But then, like, just circa 2000 us, that would have blown our minds, and now I'm like, that sounds fucking horrible. Did you see The Jungle Book on Netflix? It was terrible.
It's strange that Serkis is kind of backseating his way into a director.
Yeah.
Like, I love the dude. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a real talented actor and
I
performer.
just don't think he's a
but
good director.
I haven't seen anything he's directed. What else? Did he do?
The only thing I saw, he directed segments of Return of the King, but the only thing that he fully directed that I know of 100% is The Jungle Book,
That Jungle Book flip.
the Mowgli or whatever it was called for Netflix, and it was atrocious.
That's
It was
sad.
hard to watch.
Was it the same aesthetic as the Favreau one? Like
No.
green screen and
Actually, it was really stupid because I remember it was really stupid because they gave all the it was all, you know how he's all super motion capture,
Yep.
performance capture, which I don't think is the greatest thing in the world outside of very specific circumstances,
Like, if you wanna make a-
Gollum or
or an ape trilogy.
an ape, sure,
Yeah.
because they're supposed to have human faces.
Exactly, yeah.
But they gave all the animals human faces, eyebrows, and like everything, and so it was just unsettling. And the animation was like, it felt like they were 4 renders away from the final render. You know, I don't know if they ran out of money or if they just didn't have enough money to begin
or
with.
they had the guys who worked on Cats.
Maybe. Oh Jesus. That trailer is a waking nightmare. It makes no sense. If you're gonna animate it, why not make them actual cats?
Why not just put them in the suits from the Broadway show?
Right.
Pick one or the other.
One or the other. I guarantee that this is just a tech demo. This is a new technology. They've gotten cats to be the face of it, and they're just trying to sell this tech demo to studios because it's the stupidest fucking
Nightmare
thing.
fuel.
That's a good. We're getting into the Comic-Con and D23 now.
Yep.
Especially with the cats. Well, okay, so let's start with Comic-Con. What came out? What were the Comic-Con trailers?
Okay.
It was
Well, for the MCU...
the whole lineup of Disney streaming service TV shows, which I do not give a fuck about.
Okay, so we've got, in spring 2021, we got one of the most awkward titles I've ever heard, WandaVision.
Yeah.
Now, WandaVision's supposed to be,
They're
think
like
it's...
in the posters, them in the 50s.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this weird parallel situation where they are living together and shit goes weird.
They're going into the multiverses because that's supposed to lead into the multiverse of madness, the Doctor Strange 4 movie.
Oh, because she's in it.
Mm-hmm. Which
so
again,
you
this is
gotta
getting
watch-
like homework, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
This is 90s comics where you have to buy 10 different
Yeah.
fucking comics to read one storyline.
I mean, that kind of is what happens whenever you have your big finale, and you're like, okay, what pieces do we have left over to work with without
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans?
And
now?
it's also Disney going, we need to outsell Netflix, so fuck you.
That's right.
We're
I
gonna
forgot about that.
we're gonna put your shit on TV
That's
instead
true.
of. And I don't know if they're ongoing series or if they're like limited series or TV movies. They haven't really said.
I bet you they'll play it by ear.
Yeah,
They'll
just
have
see
like
how
a
it goes.
closing point at the end of each season. They're like, if you want to pick it up, we can, but we'll just leave it otherwise.
Yeah,
That same spring, 2021, we get Loki.
which I don't care about Loki.
It
let him be dead. This is so painful.
I know. I liked his death in fucking
Yeah.
The Sun Will Shine on Us Again, brother. Like, that's such a noble ending, and now he's just gonna, hop around the universe so fangirls can flood their pants? Like,
it's so stupid.
I think that's the only... They were like, who do people scream the most at that won't cost us that much money?
Loki.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston.
Exactly.
What else has he got?
And then the last series is fucking Hawkeye. They gave
Oh,
their
yeah.
Aquaman a TV show.
He gave Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I missed
another
that. That one's
series.
fall 2020.
Which must be the guy who plays Falcon must be pretty pissed.
Anthony Mackie?
Anthony Mackie must be like, you set up that I was the new Captain America, and now I'm on a TV show?
I mean, I'm sure he's just happy to be still working, dude,
Do you
because
think he gets the money from the movie money being on TV shows?
he don't get Chris Evans' fucking paycheck. I know
No.
that much. But at least he's still in the mix, right? They can
Yes.
still toss him around movie
Throw
to
him into a
movie.
movie?
Yeah, so... And I don't know how this TV deal works. Like, if you're just doing a 2-hour movie versus, like, an 8-hour series,
I don't know.
is it relative?
I imagine they're not going to be getting as much as being in a follow-up movie to the largest grossing movie of all time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Hawkeye, listen, like he's another one. I'm like, dude, he got his family back. Leave
Yeah,
this
I don't
fucking
want to
guy
see
alone.
more Hawkeye.
Unless it's like a prequel. Like, you'd have to go prequel because isn't he all fucked up now from murdering a bunch of gangs
Yeah,
across
his,
the mirror?
his whole big arm tattoo. Yeah, like I don't know. It's so silly. And then the Black Widow movie is the first movie. coming out,
I
too.
know I missed the What If. Which out of all of them, if I had to watch,
Animated
pick
What
one,
If?
I'd pick the What If.
Yep, as
That-
long as they
yeah.
don't do choppy anime, I'm good. Because I'm so sick of fucking choppy anime.
Yeah. That one I think could have potential just because it's fun. Like it's gonna be like a cartoon series of Endgame of just
Yeah.
I understand that reference.
Yeah.
After like just over and over again.
Just parallel universe
Yeah.
things.
So yeah, so starting with the movies.
Because they announced a whole bunch more at D23,
yeah,
too.
they've added Blade and Black
Way off
Panther.
in the future.
Yeah,
Black Panther 2 was like 2023 or
something like that. Yeah.
It's a ways away.
So we got coming up next in Phase 4 is Black Widow,
Don't care.
which I think they just owe it to her
I
at
think
this
that's
point.
it.
That's really it.
Because I don't think Black Widow's that interesting of a character, ultimately.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, Snowbird.
This one's close. Sometimes they go right past her, and it's just ear-shattering.
Let me rephrase that. Black Widow is an interesting character, but Scarlett Johansson, I don't think, is an actress with the chops to portray the depths of her character.
We talked about this last time. I think if they gave her, it depends who the supporting cast is. Like, I think about, like, we're just talking about The
it's a-
Boys earlier on. If they
Yeah.
gave her, like, a Carl Urban-like character, where she's, like, the hard edge,
Yeah.
and she just has, like, a goofy noob who's with her.
Isn't that well? Because what's his tits from Stranger Things is in it? Because they
Finn
released the
Wolfhard?
poster, the big beard. Yeah, he's in it.
What, Hopper or Finn Wolfhard?
Hopper.
Hopper's in it?
Yeah. So That's the only person I know, and the villain is one of her villains that everyone I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, they announced it, but I can't remember who it
Yeah.
is. It's not Zemo. Although
No.
Zemo's coming back and
for
fucking...
Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Which I think, keeping
it
it
works.
in-house, that does make sense. And he's going to have the hood and everything
You think
now.
he would be more appropriate to bring back for a Black Panther adventure, though, considering he killed his dad? You
Yeah,
know?
but there are stories kind of.
I guess.
He still hates fucking Captain America and Bucky. He probably still has a thing against Bucky.
Yeah, that's true.
Who is the villain in the
Oh,
Black
and
Panther?
Thor: Love and Thunder, which is a great title, but I'm not really interested. I don't know, because I really wanted the next Guardians of the Galaxy to have Thor in it.
Right.
I don't want another Thor movie. I want him to be put... Maybe that's the thing. Maybe this is going to be Natalie Portman as Thor, because that's what they did in the comics.
Right.
And then he'll be off with the Guardians. That would be fine.
That'd be a cool way of doing it.
I'm cool with that.
She's the one who wields Mjolnir.
Yeah. Mjolnir.
And, like, you know, love
Yum,
or
yum.
hate him, like, Taika Waititi made Ragnarok fun as fuck,
And
so...
I can't wait for Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, they're doing Jojo Rabbit?
Have you not seen the trailer? It's his next Taika Waititi's next movie.
What's that?
Where he plays Hitler, and it's about an Aryan boy in a Hitler youth camp.
Oh, I saw the poster for this series. It's a white rabbit, and then the swastika's the running legs. I was
Yeah.
like, what in the fuck is this?
That's-
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the new Taika Waititi.
Oh.
Because The Hunt for the Wilder People is one of my favorite films of all time.
Okay.
So knowing that he's going back to like a low budget, just weird indie drama where he plays Hitler,
That's brilliant.
it's amazing, and it's apparently it's just a exploration of hate, of why we hate, and so it is just set like right before the war, with Nazis coming to power, and it's a Hitler youth off at a camp, and his imaginary friend is Hitler, and it looks amazing.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait.
That's great. We wouldn't expect it from the dude because he's so bright and sense. Like, what do you want to do, Taika? He's like, well, I'd really like to do a Holocaust
But
movie.
you should see him, no, because it all seems like it's taking place out in the woods at this camp, at this retreat for Hitler Youth,
God
right?
Damn it.
And it's just him as Hitler is hilarious.
That's
He's got
so-
this big fake belly. He's just like, everyone thought I was crazy because I want to kill Jews. Well, well, they were wrong. And it just looks so silly.
That's fucking great. Next is November 6th, 2020. We got The Eternals, which...
I don't know, Angelina Jolie and the kid who can't act from Stranger Things.
Oh, Finn Wolfhard?
No, is that the girl? Is that the girl?
I just think every time you see Stranger Things, it's Finn Wolfhard.
Who's Finn Wolfhard?
He's the one, Eleven's boyfriend. I can never remember his character's name.
Oh, okay. From It. Was he in It?
He's in It.
Yeah.
I always want to call him Will, but that's just because they say Will's name 50
Will,
fucking
Will,
times.
Will,
Yeah,
Will.
in season 1.
No, it's the girl who can't act. She cannot act. 11 cannot fucking act.
She's not supposed to.
But I watched some of that new Godzilla movie, and she's embarrassing in that. And so now she's going to be headlining. It's that like that badass look she does is so irritating. It makes me want to flicker between the eyes.
I'm just imagining the chick's just like she's been playing really one prolific character for 3 years now. Like,
and she was a child. And rarely do child actors grow into anything of quality in terms of their acting ability.
what
It's
about
so rare.
Robert Downey Jr.?
He wasn't acting at like 5
he was like an
though,
8-year-old,
was he?
8 or
Was he
7.
8?
Yeah.
All right, Robert Downey
Like that's
Jr.
one
gets
example
it.
out of
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of kids who were just
Just did not work.
did not work and are in trailers right now doing coke.
Oh, what's his name? Sixth Sense. I think
He's actually he's
amazing in The Boys.
The Boys, and he's essentially doing a parody of himself. He's this
Yeah.
paranormal kid who can read people's minds. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, you're not quite done The Boys yet, so we should maybe save that for a future
Yeah,
podcast because I enjoyed it.
It's fun, man. Like in terms,
I didn't think it was groundbreaking or anything, but
I found it just necessary for right now in terms of like the commentary it does about like how social
about
media is
Hollywood,
used.
yeah.
It's about Hollywood and how like superhero mania can be fucking toxic when it's manipulated
Yeah.
by corporations, and I'm like, well done.
It's two things. Is I think it's what Zack Snyder was trying to do with Superman, but
Yeah.
you don't fucking do that with
No,
Superman.
and that's what I love about it. It's the right. It does have that tone of like it's 50% Marvel, 50% DC in its
Yeah.
tone, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it works perfectly.
There's even a scene of Seth Rogen being like, "I'm gonna be part of the
Yes!
superhero U or whatever."
Or even Starlight's 2 writers for her dialogue are named Seth and Evan.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fucking hilarious,
Yeah.
dude. Next to Shang-Chi, like,
I don't know.
it just really feels like them being like, well, we got the black audience, now we need to get the Asian audience because
Yeah.
there's where all the money really
There's
is.
like 3 billion of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Doctor Strange one, just because you put multiverse in the title and they're saying it's a horror movie,
And it's a play on a H.P. Lovecraft
Yeah,
short story. So
that
I'm like,
could be kinda
that
cool.
might be neat.
Yeah.
Sure.
even though I'm not a huge Cumberbatch fan, but I do like what he did with Doctor Strange in Infinity War and Endgame.
Except for his goddamn American accent.
It's no good.
I can't stand his American accent. He just talks like this all the time.
Okay, Stark.
Yeah, okay,
But if
Stark.
it comes to saving you or the kid.
I won't hesitate.
Yeah, he does.
Really? Jesus.
Oh, that's
How
hilarious.
come you couldn't have just made him British?
Maybe that's why his final line in that movie is him just holding up his finger. They were just
Does
like,
that say
shut
something?
up.
I just don't understand why they were hell-bent on making him American. Like, who gives a shit? Maybe Doctor Strange is an immigrant from England.
It would have been kind of cool,
Right?
British Doctor Strange.
Right?
You're
Why
gonna make
not?
fucking MJ black. Like, come on.
Why not?
Let's get crazy here.
How many of these characters, too, should have... Isn't Scarlet Witch Russian?
Yeah.
Shouldn't she be talking like this for whole movie?
I like to imagine they tried that in like Iron Man 2 for a day, and they're like, you know
Yeah,
what?
no, you know, Scarlet,
Just do that turn again. There you go.
That's it.
There you go. And no, that's not me being misogynistic. Count the number of Scarlett fucking Johansson ass shots in that franchise and get back to me.
She is also America's ass.
Oh, goddamn right. Goddamn right.
But if they made that joke, oh my god.
Oh my god. Chris Evans' ass is fair game, though.
Yeah, sure.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Oh. You have some elements of this trip you haven't told the audience yet.
Oh, Cap. You kiss your mother with that mouth. I think that's... Oh, and Blade with Mahershala Ali.
Which has no... I don't think there's a date attached to
No,
that.
there's not. They just
They
pretty
just
much
said,
put him in
"Eh?
a Blade hat, and they're
Eh?
like, look, it's him!
Ah, he might be really old by the time we get around to this.
Remember
but
whenever they had their shit so planned out, they had Tom Hiddleston come out in full Loki gear right before Avengers
Yeah.
and like threaten the crowd and shit. Now they're just like, Taika, hand Natalie Portman a hammer and say we're making some shit. We're gonna lose them.
Yeah, which it also feels really virtue signally, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I was saying this to you outside earlier because let's talk about some summer movies before we get into the crown jewel of this podcast, which is going to be a rise of some walkings of the skies. But some summer movies that I saw.
Oh, you meant Star Wars.
Yeah. I saw the live action Aladdin, and my problem with that.
I love how you even start with like, here's what I think. It's like, here's my problem with the live
No,
action.
it was fucking atrocious, and it made probably $1 billion because people just go to movies.
Especially if they've seen them already.
Yeah, exactly. Aladdin was horrible, and the thing that I found horrible was my problem with what Disney does in terms of like progressive ideologies. Was because I consider myself very progressive, but the movie starts with Will Smith singing about it's a faraway magical land with flying carpets and genies and wizards, and then Jasmine's whole story arc is she's fighting against oppression. So if you're in a magical land with genies and wizards and carpets, why not just make her equal? Why not show the world that should exist and let us get there on our own rather than telling us how we should get there?
I like you.
Because people get upset being told what to do.
I like your idea of just having her be next in line to be Sultan.
But she has to get married.
But she still has to get married.
And that could be the problem.
Yeah.
So it really bugged me that the magical land still has sexism. I'm like, fuck you.
It'd be like throwing misogyny into Star Wars. You're like, really? This galaxy's not past that
Yeah,
yet.
it's far, far away.
Yeah.
Everyone was miscast. Will Smith was not good as the genie.
Right.
You didn't for a second believe that he wasn't using Aladdin to get free. Like in the cartoon, you honestly feel like he's surprised at the end when he uses his last wish to free him.
Right.
In this movie, it's like, you kind of get a sense that he's just waiting for that.
He's like, who do you want to bang? Fine, let's move it along. Move it along.
Yeah.
I got shit to do.
You're gonna free me, so let's go. And then you saw the other side of Disney's live action ridiculousness.
I did.
Live action.
That's right. In terms of fucking making something colorful on the opposite end of the spectrum, essentially like a nature documentary crossed with Homeward Bound with voiceovers, was The Lion King.
No expressions on their faces.
No, you ever look at the cat's face?
Yeah, there's no expression there.
Except for cold, calculating
Menace.
menace. They're not fucking friendly looking. If you watch
No.
the original one, think about when Simba sees his dad in the cloud,
Yeah.
or when his dad died. There's so many close-ups of his eyes and of him like being happy and sad.
Yep.
You take all that away.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching this movie like,
Why?
why did you do this?
What's the point?
I don't understand what's the point of this. Because the original audience is going there and being unsatisfied because it's not as emotional as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this new audience is watching it. Let's say you've never seen the original Lion King. do you give a shit? Does it have the same impact? You don't have the same connection to it that anyone watching the cartoon would.
And I don't understand if they put the same amount of money into marketing of a remastered re-release, it would probably make the same amount of money.
Why
So
don't you just re-release it?
why not just re-release the original?
I know. Especially when the whole Circle of Life sequence you're going to do
Shot for shot.
which was cool as like an exercise. It would have made a cool fucking demo reel for some kids VFX, project, but I don't know.
That's why I feel like Disney just invested in some FX studios, and they're just making these movies to further their market share.
Or also upgrade and also work on their technology shit.
Work on their technology.
Because that was the one thing I noticed watching that entire movie. I had to stop and be like, wait, none of this is real. They're not in Africa right now. They didn't shoot background plates.
No.
Like, all of this is fucking
The
fake.
first shot's real, that's it.
The sunrise?
He said that Jon Favreau said he actually went out and shot that sunrise.
That's pretty cool.
To then morph it into to CGI.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So that's the only real shot. But it's just, I saw a meme online where it was like Simba surprised, Simba sad, Simba angry, and it's just the same.
It's the same fucking
face.
line. The part that like really like hurt the most was not that hurt the most, but one of the things that just I stuck with me when I left the theater was fucking Beyonce. So when Simba fucking has the vision of Mufasa and decides to go back to Pride Rock, in the movie it's just the Hans Zimmer score as his feet run across the horizon. They put in this Beyonce song that sounded like a modern Ariana Grande song.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the lyrics are, but being Disney and it was something like
probably like Jasmine's new song.
it was essentially like the earth is important.
Don't forget to recycle.
Don't throw out that garbage on the lawn. Some shit like that. I forget.
We're all equal.
Blacks and whites together.
Yeah.
And it was just confusing because she plays Nala. So I'm like, is she just narrating Simba running back? Like, I don't. And during the "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" sequence,
Oh yeah, did they bone? Was it awkward? Like, did Simba bite her neck and she screamed?
Timon and Pumbaa are like, we shouldn't be watching this.
Slowly backing
This
out.
is fucked up.
Billy Eichner just jacking it. Oh.
Timon, no. You have to stand up and everything when he does it. Whatever. They did that sequence because Childish Gambino, Donald Glover's singing. He's got an okay singing voice. But Beyonce just has to do her Beyonce thing. So you're watching this quiet, subtle love sequence, which again just looks like a documentary. It's not as colorful.
Yeah.
Right? She's doing their
Can you feel love
You're like,
tonight?
oh, it took me right out of it. I was
I'm
like,
surprised they didn't get Elton John to do it. He's still alive. He did the original song.
that's true. They were like the only interesting parts. They would pair off people like Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen, or Eric Andre and Keegan-Michael Key.
Okay.
You could tell, and they were just like, just riff. Just
do your
make
thing.
shit up, because those were the funniest. Or John Oliver.
Who were they? Who was...
Keegan-Michael Key, and they changed their names.
Were they the hyenas?
The two male hyenas.
Oh, okay.
Because they made the Whoopi Goldberg one like the leader of the pack now, because
Right.
progressivism.
Right.
Uh,
Which, again, my statement aside earlier was a perfect movie. Because even as a kid, I was like... Because I was into nature documentaries and stuff as a kid. I was like, why don't the pride of females take out Scar?
Yeah.
They're the hunters.
Yeah.
The males just lay around and give them babies.
Well, it's exacerbated because in this version, there's totally a scene where they show Nala sneaking out of Pride Rock, so all the fucking lionesses are being subservient. Like, Nala, where are you going?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, are you fucking... Why don't you just kill all of them?
Yeah.
You kicked all their asses at the end of this movie?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
'Cause
it.
females will drive a male out if they don't like him.
Exactly.
Like, the males aren't in charge. They're just useful
Yeah.
to breed with.
Yeah, exactly. They just lay about. They don't do shit.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's why, in my opinion, female cats are harder to deal with than male cats because they have that competition in them, right?
Case in point, I have a fucking female who will not leave me alone screaming
Yeah,
at me right now.
I have two lady cats and they hate each other.
Right.
And I've had a dude cat and they're always just like, "What's up, man? I'm friends with everyone." Yeah,
But yeah, I the weirdest thing is that this thing, both Aladdin and Lion King made $1 billion. There's no way they don't do a sequel. Do you go? Let's remake The Lion King 2 and Aladdin 2?
yeah. Are they
Like,
gonna do the direct-to-video sequels?
Yeah, they're gonna do Return of Jafar, or do they take it in a different direction?
I don't know.
Like, because Lion
Where
King
I-
2 is pretty fucking terrible.
Because Aladdin's really fucking terrible. I don't understand brand recognition. I don't get it.
You think they get Dan Castanella to replace Will Smith?
I hope so. Yeah, but it's still Will Smith's face because they own his image now. Disney owns his image. He's gonna be a genie for 50 years.
Yep.
I don't understand. I know we've talked about before. Like, my perspective shouldn't be everyone's perspective, but I still don't understand how people don't understand when they're being sort of sold a product
Or pander to.
Pander to. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like they're like this is just brand recognition slop.
They threw the trailer for Mulan in ahead of The Lion King. I was like, you're just gonna do your whole '90s catalog.
Do you think they're gonna make Mulan with? Because I've never seen Mulan, but I know that there's an Eddie Murphy dragon in it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but since Mulan's based on a real person, do you think this is gonna be? They're gonna veer away from just remaking the animated movie and actually make the story of Mulan, or is there a CGI dragon waiting in the wind?
I imagine they put the C because again, brand recognition. People will be pissed if Mushu's
there's
not
no-
in there.
yeah, right.
But there are enough trouble. You hear about the whole controversy with that actress.
Oh yeah, she was supporting China.
She's born in China, so like I think they've got enough on their plate. They're like, fuck the CGI dragon. We don't care right now.
Yep. But on the topic of Eddie Murphy, did you see the trailer for Dolomite?
Oh,
Dolomite is my name.
that cast alone, I'm in.
And it's the writers of
shit.
Ed Wood.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks so good.
And just him coming back to a comedy role in a
Yeah.
movie that's not the clumps. Like,
Yeah.
fucking A.
Yeah, that trailer really blew me away, especially when I found out it was from the writers of Ed Wood, because Ed Wood's probably one of my favorite real world docudramas
Yeah.
ever.
It's my favorite Tim Burton movie, which is ironic.
Oh, yeah.
It's the least Tim Burton movie.
Me too. And it's the one where he doesn't have Danny Elfman with him.
That's right.
I know.
That's right. Love that bongo score though.
Yeah. No, it's so good. Is there anything else? Anything else this summer? What if I watched Stranger Things 3. We haven't.
Feelings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. we were. I even mentioned in the last podcast that you weren't here for is that we've been promising you a Stranger Things podcast, but honestly, I think it kind of would be.
It was okay. I don't
was
get
alright.
why you killed Hopper.
Yeah, but did they?
Yeah, dude.
No, but did they? Because remember the post-credit scene in Russia? When they're like, not the Americans, send in someone else, and they grab a prisoner and throw him into one of the,
Wait, when does Hopper dies on screen, doesn't he? Does
No,
He
he gets, like, he looks, and then it goes bright, and then he's just gone. And then, did you watch the post-credit scene, right?
yeah, where there's a Demigorgon.
They feed the guy, so that's implying that Russia has their own gateway.
So what?
Maybe he hopped into the portal and then got pulled out in Russia.
Oh, or maybe they just found him knocked out near the collider, or
Right.
whatever it's
Well,
called.
because they're back in Russia, and if they have a Demigorgon, that means they have a tear to the upside down.
But I'm just wondering because it was a Russian base that they could have just found. Like again, and also Russian base underneath a fucking mall.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
That was really silly.
That's this series has always been kind of ridiculous.
It was really silly.
But that's out of control.
Yeah.
Like, the second they started like following, like there's something going on, we're following this signal. I'm like, you kids are just gonna get there and it's gonna be nothing. No, they were totally right. And there's a massive Russian base under the mall. I was like, this is weird.
But I guarantee you Hopper's not dead. I think that, like, they wouldn't have said not the American.
Right.
Or maybe he's, like, contract negotiation because he got all
Hellboy.
up. Right? Which bombed. So maybe. I watched Hellboy.
How was that?
Oh my god. It was unfucking watchable. Like, it was every bad decision, every wrong decision you could have made was present in that movie. But just a quick thing about Stranger Things, though. That entire season is worth, I think, the two moments which really made me grin was when their adventure starts coinciding with the Back to the Future score.
Yes.
So they're actually using the Back to the Future score.
That was great.
I thought that was great. And also when the two drug teens are at the water fountain. And they're discussing the plot of Back to the Future.
Oh, he's like, was he trying to sleep with his
He's like,
mom?
no, he had to go back to the future. And he's, wait, what? That moment was hilarious. But that's it.
I just found out watching Gattaca the other night that chick is the product of Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, she is.
And the second I saw it, I can't unsee it. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
totally Uma Thurman's kid. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, I don't know what else I've been getting behind. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet.
I did.
I have not.
You know, when I first saw it, initially I was like, oh my god, that was what I wanted. But as it ages, it's okay. Like, my only problem with it is that there's no real substance to it. It just feels like him having fun
A Once
with a
Upon a
period
Time
piece.
fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I'm a guy who loves fashion and car porn and movies, and that movie is 70s fucking just
Everywhere.
galore. All the clothes and all the cars are just beautiful.
Yeah.
And it looks great. But Brad Pitt's probably one of my favorite Tarantino characters ever in that movie.
Yeah.
But having said that, like, I could sum up that movie in in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
In a paragraph. Like there's no substance to it.
I gotta see. I really want to see it in theaters because I missed the last Hateful Eight in theaters, and I usually try and see Tarantino's in theaters. How about the editing? Is his editor getting any better?
Getting a little better.
Yeah?
Yeah, this one was a little bit more watchable.
Yeah.
Like I didn't find myself lolling out like I did in Django.
He cut his teeth on Django.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one moved a little bit better. There were some awkward sequencing problems. Like again, no one's Sally Menke, so like watching 2-3 driving montages back to back of 2-3 different characters, you're like, this should have been split up. Like holy fuck.
Okay.
And they're all leaving from the same origin point. So once this character gets to where he's going, we have to go back to where we were and then watch them drive again. I'm like, oh god.
Okay.
But otherwise,
I don't know. There's not much else. The Picard trailer came out at Comic-Con. It can go fuck itself.
Oh, you know, I did love about Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico. How do we say it? Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in the West. Oh.
In New York. Fuck. But was seeing Leonardo DiCaprio probably for the first time ever play a character who's not totally cool.
Right.
Like
he's not screaming constantly.
Well, he does. Scream.
Oh, he does scream constantly.
He does scream, but it's because he's constantly on the edge of having a breakdown.
Okay.
Like he's this fucking actor Rick Dalton who's like on the verge of becoming obsolete.
You're Rick fucking Dalton.
You're Rick fucking Dalton.
Yeah.
Like I'm not spoiling anything. This is literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie. They're like, listen,
That's the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you've been in a couple flicks, but now you're becoming the bad guy, and every week people at home are gonna watch you get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
So you got one choice here. You need a breakout role, and he's just constantly on the edge of like and fear that his glory days are all behind him.
Yeah.
And he just owns it so well. Like watching him shake, trying to light a cigarette, like just watching Leo have a nervous breakdown. I never realized how badly I wanted to see that.
And without spoiling anything, if you were Bruce Lee's child, would you be highly offended by his portrayal in the movie?
I would say like no, because it's a goddamn fucking movie.
It says Once Upon a Time in the title.
I really feel like it was a slow news week that week, or someone just wanted some fucking traction.
When you have CNN destroyed news, that as a quick aside, you know, stories like that are because CNN invented 24-hour news cycles. Mm-hmm. So now they're playing the victim of everyone saying fake news, which I disagree with fake news, but fuck CNN.
Yeah. No, they're just as bad now.
They're so bad.
They have become the very thing that they swore to destroy.
Yeah.
Which segues us in.
Which segues to, yes, the Amazon is on fire. Yes, the ice caps are melting 10 times faster than previously considered, but fuck all of that, because there was a new Star Wars trailer.
Excited? You're pumped, right? You're pumped.
Nope.
I
don't care. I just don't care.
And
they
like,
tried to tease us like Dark Ray.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, I don't fucking
It felt
care.
so desperate to be like, please go see this fucking movie.
So desperate.
Look, C-3PO's got red eyes. Why does he have red eyes?
Ooh, what's that mean? He has a gun on the poster. Is he an evil C-3PO?
Why does Palpatine look like a cartoon character on that newest poster?
Did you see that?
He looks terrible.
No, but did you actually see that? It's a Hot Toys Palpatine.
It's a Hot Toys. Yeah, someone took the photograph and did side by side.
They just used a Hot Toys.
Which makes me wonder, is Ian McDermott even in this fucking
I don't
thing?
think so.
Does he put the makeup on, or is it just a voiceover?
I'm feeling like no. Because there's this like mystery character of Doctor Who, the guy who played Doctor Who, Matt Smith. And I think it's just going to be him with like a chip in his head or something.
Or like he's a younger Palpatine, they dub his voice in or something.
Or clones.
Yeah.
Cloned young Palpatine, cloned Evil Ray.
Yeah. Like
who cares?
Like, and again, I'm without naming any names or digging up any old fucking graves, I just don't think there's any because when Empire ended, you're like, how are they gonna get Han back? It's his father. Is Leia gonna get back together with Han?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? There's none of that with this one.
Of that. So they're restarting and ending at the same time.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't really care what this movie's about.
No,
like it looks like Star Wars, sure,
yeah.
but I don't care what it's about whatsoever.
I don't care. I just don't care, and it's gonna make $1 billion.
It's gonna make all the money.
It's gonna make all the money. Because it's going to be unavoidable. It's going to be they're going to spend $500 million on advertising.
Yeah,
and it's going to be unavoidable.
The second they showed the old school Star Destroyers with the super lasers on their belly, and then another beam blowing up another planet, I was just like, guys.
Oh, but the thing is, that trailer reinforced. Remember, I told you I read those spoilers. Some imagery in that trailer reinforced some of those spoilers.
So it probably
is that horrible plot, like because those old deaths. It might not be, but I'll just blurt it out. Those old Death Stars are because Palpatine had a hidden fleet off in the unknown regions.
Which is something that was in the comic books too.
Yeah.
So he had a whole squad of Star Destroyers.
Because those are old school Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Those are all in the spoiler.
And like the red Sith troopers, I'm assuming are on those things.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, is there any surprises left in this fucking movie? Like,
No.
I don't know.
Star Wars, like, no one cares about Star Wars anymore. Like, like I said this to you earlier, for a kid today, Star Wars is Marvel. And everyone I've ever met or ever heard a YouTube video or anything about who watched Star Wars as an adult doesn't really get it. You have to have that child first viewing of Star Wars for it to be what it is. As an adult, you're like, oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you're obsessing about it. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you weren't there as a little kid. And little kids are not watching Star Wars anymore. They're watching Marvel movies.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like, I feel like that fan base was galvanized whenever it was just a kid wearing a Star Wars t-shirt that you saw at the park. You're like, oh, now we're best friends. We bonded over that thing. It became our religion.
When it was still nerdy.
When it was still like a niche thing. And now, like, don't get me wrong, like, I still like Rogue One. I get that these properties have to get bought up and they have to get repackaged and sold. But when it's mass produced like this, it doesn't have that same cool factor of like, it's this thing that we just, you guys don't get it when we say 1138, what we're talking about. Everybody fucking knows.
This must have because Star Wars obviously was the biggest movie of all time when it came out. Empire was one of the biggest movies of all time. This is what it must have felt like for Jedi.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, this is getting weird and corporate. And
it's getting global, like worldwide news and shit.
Yeah, now it's not just everyone went to see it and then forgot about it. Now everyone's seeing it, and also the movie's not that great.
Yeah.
Jedi is objectively the worst of them.
Oh yeah.
Of the first three.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because I just don't care.
It's just too funny of just like you could really feel them just being like, we don't know what to do after that. Like, we don't know how to follow that act, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's the most damning thing is that they have to restart the story and end it in 2 hours.
Count the number of times in those two trailers they show Finn, Rey, Poe, 3PO all hanging out because they were nowhere in the same scene in the last one. Like, look, they're all together.
Guys.
Please give us your money. They're all back together.
Look, the best friends.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it started with them getting back together too, as if they've been time apart. I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. Rey's off doing something.
I bet you
Finn's off
it
doing
starts
something.
with a similar opening like Jedi, like it's Finn doing some shit, and all of a sudden you realize Rey's undercover helping him out, and then Poe comes in.
Oh,
and
you think
saves
it's going to do that?
100%.
You think it's going to pull
Oh
Jedi?
yeah, I think this thing's going to hit all the Return of the Jedi beats.
Oh my god.
And then end it with a Revenge of the Sith lava fight, but on water!
Well, yeah, they did say that the Vader's lava castle, Emperor's lava castle, the original concept designs for Jedi, they're using in this movie.
It's going to be what, underwater?
No, it's just it's his underground lava base with the throne in it. That final shot of Rey, you can see behind her looks all rocky, like she's in an underground lava base. So they're just recycling all the old shit.
On the note of Dark Rey, is anyone convinced it's not just the dark side vision?
No.
Like you
Oh
wouldn't
no,
put
I think it might be a clone.
a club, but like it's not her.
Not her.
Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
put that in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, why did you do that? Why didn't you
Exactly.
save that? That would have been amazing.
I was joking the other day. It's like Daenerys Stormborn went bad. Rey's gonna go bad. Who do women have to look up to? These fucking astronauts? Fuck them.
Occasionally they go nuts and drive 5 hours to go cut their boyfriend's dick off or whatever that story was.
No, they said this is hilarious because even if it's true, who gives a shit? They said they used the ISS computer to look at his email because she thought he was cheating on her or something.
Oh, you're talking about that one. I was talking about the.
Oh, you're talking. There's another one.
Yeah, it was about like 7 years ago. Some woman, former astronaut, drove like something like 18 hours across the country to fucking like. I can't remember if she beat up her boyfriend or.
Well, it's official. Bitches be crazy.
Especially the ones in space.
Space bitches be crazy. Half our viewership just disappeared. I'm just kidding.
I forgot about. Hey, well, prove me wrong, kids. And you can't mention Roberta Bondar. Boom! NASA fucking name drop. How do you like that?
Stop looking up to fictional characters. Look at what it's done for men. Nothing good.
On that note,
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian looks like it could be a lot of fun.
That is where I'm putting all my chips now, because it just looks like a Sergio. That's what I've been rooting for.
I hope he never takes the mask off, and
Me
I
too.
don't think he's gonna.
Me too. No, it's what I've been rooting for ever since like they and even announced Star Wars story spin-offs. It's just Boba Fett in a Sergio Leone movie. Like it looks exactly like that.
With Werner Herzog giving him his bounties.
It's so funny. I just love that dude like, between Rick and Morty, Parks and Rec.
It's weird that he's getting into this Like,
Who's his agent? Like,
he makes the strangest movies.
Yeah.
And then he shows up in The Mandalorian.
it's so fucking funny.
I need a paycheck. I have gambling problems.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
The cast is not Carl Weathers doing sci-fi. I think for the first time since Predator.
Since the Preds.
You got fucking Giancarlo Esposito, Gus from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
as an
he's
Imperial,
like, because the Empire's done.
which is perfect casting. Like
Yeah.
him delivering one of those Gus speeches as an Imperial would be dead on perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And another one I found out, which is fucking fascinating. There's a quick shot of that Twi'lek, and she's got a crew of bounty hunters with her.
Bill Burr.
Fucking Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's in it.
One of the comedians who rallies against Star Wars nerds the hardest is going to be a bounty hunter in The Mandalorian.
I wonder if he is just gonna be like, I don't fucking know. Like if he's just gonna, is he just gonna be Bill Burr?
I really hope they send him to a con just so he can shit on everybody.
Yeah, you're all a bunch of fucking losers.
Who the fuck cares? I hope he tells a Wookiee he's gonna put him through a fucking wall. Like,
I guess this is Disney though. There's no cursing in the Empire, so he's gonna just be like, I don't freaking care.
I can't wait.
Oh.
Just to see him having a blaster, saying the words Empire and Tatooine, it'd be just fucking hilarious.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It's vaguely meta.
Yeah.
To see him in Star Wars.
Yeah. But that's why I have faith in Favreau, dude. He knows how to like pick his pick carefully. Like he's like, okay, I have a cherry tree here, and I have a lot of different cherries, but I'm gonna pick carefully. I'm gonna pick Carl fucking Weathers to play a character.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that, did you?
Except for The Lion King.
That felt just like he had no choice. He didn't have the
Maybe that's what he did to get
possibly.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, they were like, listen, you want a Star Wars show? You were pretty good at the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Can you do a Jungle Cat movie? Like,
Well, remember what's his name? The director of Forrest Gump and Castaway.
Sylvester.
No, that's the composer.
that's the composer.
Fuck. He directed Back to the Future.
Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis. The only way he could make Castaway, because they had to take a year off for Tom Hanks to lose the weight to play him
Yes.
later on the island, was to make that completely forgettable Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer,
What Lies Beneath.
What Lies Beneath. The only reason that movie was made was that was the deal. You make this movie for us, then you get the funding to take a year off to finish Castaway. That's the only reason he did it.
Well, there you have it.
I think that's a good thing to go out on. We've kind of blathered on today, and I think that's what we do.
That's what we do
That's
best.
what we do, guys.
So you got a whole chunk of summer goodness.
Yeah, there's a whole chunk of summer crap. Most of it was, I didn't see that. Did you? Nah, I haven't really been watching a lot this summer.
My cats are fucking.
I might get a dog.
Oh, yeah. You might get a dog.
I might get a dog.
That's new. They don't know that.
No one cares.
Carson might get a dog.
And anyone listening who does care is probably going, don't get a fucking dog. What are you, stupid?
Oh, Jesus, no. They're calling you right now.
Dude, I just heard the podcast. What are you thinking?
Don't do it.
You can barely take care of yourself. Right now, what are you doing right now? Are you laying on a couch with a bunch of chip crumbs in your beard? That's what you're fucking doing? But a dog could lick at my crumbs.
Why I need the dog, asshole?
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back at some point. I don't know. We're not.
We got some stuff.
We got some shit coming
There's
up.
There's some movies coming out. We can do It 2.
It Chapter 2. We can do the whole It saga.
The It saga.
Can the It podcast just be me reading the underage gang rape scene?
Only if I can do a line of cocaine while you're doing it in the spirit of Stephen King.
Yes.
All right, we got ourselves a deal.
That's going to be the full podcast.
Fucking
I'm going to read it and then slow it down so I'm talking like this.
It'll be punctuated occasionally with.
It's going to go on so long. But yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
Maybe next week or something.
Or something.
Something.
For an exciting episode
We'll figure it all out.
of Space
Action.
Podcast.
Woo!